What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Glorious Gifts banner and the new units which have come with it. I'm also going to be checking if my stat speculation were on point or not from my first impression video, and the timestamps for each unit is going to be in the description for your convenience right below that like button. And I also want to thank ShailorMercury as always for this layout. Her Twitter is going to be in the description as always. And let's take a look at these units. So the first unit we have is Winter Sothis. 185 BST, this is the highest BST unit in the game so far. And as I said in my first impression video, I was totally expecting her to have more than 180 BST. So she is the premier whale bait unit on this banner, and a lot of whales are going to be trying to plus and merge her. And facing Sothis as plus in Arena Assault and in Arena is definitely going to be pretty annoying because Sothis is a big ball of stats. So let's see if my stat speculation were right or not. So here we have got my stat speculation on the right. So I did expect like 34 attack on her, she ends up with 35. Expected 39 speed, which was actually like the bare minimum that she would be having, but she has got 41. Expected a bit more defense and a bit less resistance. Turns out she has got a bit more resistance and only 30 defense, so that is interesting. So she also has a super boon in attack, surprise surprise, but she's got two very cursed super banes in speed and defense, which can definitely hinder her usability if you do get them, especially the defense super bane, which is not going to be good at all. Sothis has got high speed, she has got bulk, she has got decent attack, and she's got a preferred weapon which can nullify the dragon effective weapons. This weapon also gives her plus 3 speed, so at base she has got 44 speed, which is really insane for an armor unit. But I guess we're gonna be seeing this more as the time goes on, this fast armor units. And this weapon, if she's at full HP, then she gets plus 5 to all of her stats during the combat, so it can stack up with the visible buffs, and it's incredibly easy to trigger the effect of this weapon. She's gonna be having that enable at the start of the match at the very least. And her special is serious, of course, which we have on her original version. So this does have good synergy with her weapon and also special fighter. And in the enemy phase, she can instantly retaliate back with serious thanks to special fighter. She's got premium fodder in distant counter and special fighter as well. Sothis appears to be a really powerful unit, and you definitely want to increase her speed as much as you can because her special does scale off based on her speed. So that's going to be giving you more damage output, and her getting more speed from her weapon is also really helpful. Now, even though she is pretty powerful, she's still vulnerable to armor effective weapons, so you just have to get ready with your armor smashers with their red units. So they are gonna be able to easily destroy Sothis. It's really hard to double Sothis actually, so it's better to just one-shot her with some kind of armor smasher unit. So that's basically gonna be the plan to face her in Arena Assault, and she's definitely gonna be super common there because whales are gonna be plus in merging her. And overall, if you do pull her, then she's good for any kind of content in the game. For in-game content, she can definitely do a pretty good job as a tank, and she can function as a dual phase unit. In Arena, she does score 185 BSTs, and right now if you do pull her, then you're pretty nice for the current Arena season. And if you do want to use her in Ether Raids, then Astra is the season where you want to use her so that you can boost up her defense. She does have 35 resistance, which is good. And her green color is really good because she can take on Ophelia and Reinhardt quite easily with her color advantage. And the fact that she has got so much speed is also really good when you're facing Thirstiers in the Astra season. So that's going to be really helpful. However, you have to watch her for Hoshiden Summer Mikaya. She's going to be a really annoying unit for you to face, but you just have to use Sothis as a counter pick unit, I guess, in those scenarios where you just deploy her for the maps where there are no armor effective weapons. And using armor units in Ether Raids is always going to be a bit annoying at times because of their one movement, so you're not going to be having that much mobility, and at times it can be hard to get to the pods when you really need them to. But still, she can function as a good super tank in Ether Raids in the Astra season, as I said, because she's just a big ball of stats. And the high speed stat is definitely really helpful for her bulk because she's not going to be getting doubled that much. So that's Sothis, our new highest BST unit in the game. Definitely pretty powerful. Then the next unit we have is Nino. So these are the stats which I was expecting on Nino. So I was absolutely on point with her attack at 35. And I was not expecting her to be like faster than 38, honestly. She is 41 base speed. She's the fastest mage in the game, and she's an armor unit at that too. So yeah, this banner is just filled with fast armor units except for Zephiel. So she has got 22 defense. I expected 23, so I'm pretty close to that. I expected 33 resistance. She ends up having 31 resistance. So I was pretty close to her stat spread, except for her speed, which I missed by like 3 points. So yeah, Nino is just dunking on Valentine's Lin at this point with her offenses. And she doesn't really need Bold Fighter actually in her base kit because she's much better with Special Fighter or Daring Fighter. Daring Fighter is going to be hard to get from Marth obviously, and Marth is just in general a better unit than Nino. And we don't really have too many like armor mages, so it's not really all that bad for Nino, I guess. So if you want to use her, you're probably much better off using something like a offensive build with a Blade Tome or something. You could also use like Juicy Wave Plus from Summer Camilla and have Special Fighter if you want to go for like a very expensive offensive build. She can also function as an enemy phase unit if you do use her with Close Counter Special Fighter and an Owl Tome, but her low defense is definitely going to be a bit of a problem in that regard. But if you do get her with the Super Boon in defense, then that's definitely going to be helpful. She can also get Super Boon in speed, so she can just have like 45 speed at base, which is really insane. And she does have attack speed farm already on her base kit, so that's why like Bold Fighter doesn't really do too much, outside of just giving her like the special cooldown and getting her like bypassed through Weary Fighter foes, which is useful, I guess. But Special Fighter or Daring Fighter is a bit better in my opinion. So it's a bit weird that she's got Bold Fighter when she's that fast, and she also has attack speed farm on her base kit. So this year we got two blue armor mages in Ileana and Winter Nino. Ileana is just a more bulky and slower version with a higher attack. So if you want to have a more tankier, hard-hitting version, then Ileana is the one to go. And if you want a bit more offensive, fast version, then Nino is the unit for that. She's not really the most bulky unit, but still she could function in the enemy phase with an Owl Tome and something like Special Fighter. So you definitely have quite a bit of options if you want to build Nino. I'm personally really excited to summon for her because I do like Nino a lot. So hopefully I can get her with like a plus attack or plus speed IV. That's going to be really nice. And the next unit we have is Duo Marth. We did know about Duo Marth's stats from the trailer because they did show that briefly. His duo skill does have an Aryan effect, as you can see on your screen, and he gives +3 to all stats of flying and armored allies, and also gives them bonus doublers. So it doesn't really do anything for infantry foes, which is a bit of a shame because infantry Blade Tome units could definitely use that. So that duo effect is definitely pretty nice, but in my opinion, like Duo Hector's effect is still the best one. So with this kind of effect, you do want to run flying and armored allies, and in case of armored allies, if you do run them, then Marth can himself run ward armor or gold armor, something like that, to support the armor ally, and then on top of that he can give them the bonus doubler and also some visible stats, which is a bit redundant with this Fire Emblem because if he is like using that in player phase, he can give +4 to all of the stats of the allies. Bonus doubler is pretty nice though with his duo skill. So his weapon is Tank Grisner. It's effective on flying foes obviously, and if he has got any kind of visible buff or visible status, then he gets +3 to all of his stats and also gets +1 special cooldown. Daring Fighter is a new skill, but it's just a better version of Desperation. It isn't really all that broken, and not too many armor units can run this effectively, except for armor units from this banner because they're super fast, I guess. So yeah, I guess that's why the armor units are so fast in this banner. They all wanna just promote this new fighter skill, I guess. His stat spread is also pretty good offensively, 36 attack and 41 base speed. And his preferred weapon is also pretty good, to the point where you don't really need to run something like Brave Bow on him. I mean, he could run that and he could quad attack thanks to his speed, but still, his preferred weapon is good enough in my opinion. And his special does scale off based on his speed, and he does have a super boon in speed. So yeah, that's gonna be really nice if you do get Marth with that speed super boon. Overall a powerful offensive unit, and he can also provide good offensive support with his duo skill. I guess in ether raids, if you do use some kind of like armored tank, then you could run him for that bonus doubler. That's definitely going to be pretty nice. And if you use some kind of flying super tank, I know some people do use them. I mean, flying super tanks aren't really the most common ones, but still, if you do use them, then bonus doubler is going to be helpful. But because it doesn't buff up horse and infantry units, its usability is a bit restricted, and also it can affect your team building. So that's Duo Marth. In my opinion, Legendary Alm is still the better archer. He's just more threatening, but Duo Marth is definitely going to be pretty annoying to face in Arena Assault for sure. And the next unit we have from the banner is Christmas Zephiel. So his weapon as Bellringer has got the same effect as Nino's weapon and Jaffar's weapon, where if you attack, then you heal up 5 HP. Even if you do like 0 damage, you will still heal up HP. So that's pretty good for him as a tanky unit. For Nino, it really doesn't do too much because it's a bit of a defensive weapon. But I guess it could be useful if you're running enemy face build on Nino. But if you're running something offensive, then there are just much better options. For Zephiel, it's a bit better because he's mainly an enemy face unit with his bulk. So let's check the stats which I speculated. So I expected 36 attack on him, he ends up with 38. Expected a bit more speed, he turns out to be a bit more min-max. Expected 38 defense. Honestly, like normal Zephiel also has 38 defense, so that's why I kind of just went with that. His resistance is 1 point more than what I was expecting, so I was pretty close with his stats as well. So I guess I was closest with like Winter Nino and Winter Zephiel with my speculation. And I was like the farthest with Winter Sothis with how her bulk turned out to be and how she was faster by a bit more. Funnily enough, he has got more bulk than adult Zephiel with like 12 more resistance, which is extremely good because it means that he can function better as a super tank in something like Ether Raids. But red color isn't really all that good. You're gonna get dunked by Ophelia, Reinhardt, but still, he's gonna be one of the better red super tanks because of having better visible resistance. So that's a big thing for surviving these kinds of threats in Ether Raids. And he doesn't really have X-Axe, which Zephiel has got. And even like normal Zephiel can still be really tanky and about as tanky as Winter Zephiel if you do have some merges on him. And getting merges on this version of Zephiel is going to be significantly harder than normal Zephiel. Normal Zephiel already has got quite a bit of reruns as a Grandeur Battle unit, so it's not the hardest unit to get the merges off. But still, Winter Zephiel can have IVs, can have that super boon in defense, which he has got. And he has got significantly higher visible resistance, so that's that. And he can definitely hit extremely hard with his Glacies. There's really not much you can do with him. He's just a typical enemy face armor unit. You might as well give him something like Barrier Sword or Distant Counter if you want to make most out of his resistance and use him as a tank. So Distant Counter is definitely going to be the best slotted skill for him. And if you don't want to invest into him that much, then you can just run like Steady Stance or some kind of bond skill as a budget option. Evil is also going to be getting demoted most likely, so she can provide Guard Sword and use him that way. So Guard Sword and Barrier Sword are going to be the two weapons which you can use as more defensive options. But Bellringer can also be used if you do want a bit of healing. And the last unit from this batch is Winter Jaffar. He is going to be a free unit from the Tempest Trial, which starts from tomorrow. And he's a green armor dagger. So last year also we got an armor dagger in Winter Cecilia as a free unit. And Winter Cecilia is still slightly better in my opinion because of being colorless, but Jaffar's strengths are also not really all that bad, and he's not really all that far off with his potential when compared to Winter Cecilia. And green color, I mean, yeah, colorless is just better for tanking, but green color isn't really all that bad. He could have been much worse like red or blue. Green is still pretty good because you take on Ophelia, Reinhardt, and stuff like that easily. But the main difference between him and Winter Cecilia is that Winter Cecilia has got way more resistance than him. Jaffar does have similar attack and defense to Winter Cecilia, and he's actually the fastest armored dagger unit in the game. So that's definitely pretty unique. All of the armored daggers that we have got are pretty slow, and the fastest one was like Halloween Dosla with 29 base speed, but like at that point that speed doesn't really do anything. So Jaffar is just really fast, which means that he can use Special Fighter to a good use because he can function in both phases. So that definitely opens up a lot of possibilities and a lot of builds. And that speed stat is also not like wasted at all when it comes to tanking. It means that he can prevent doubles from many units in something like Ether Raids, which Winter Cecilia cannot really do. She's gonna get doubled by pretty much everything there. So yeah, that speed definitely adds to his bulk, even though he might not have as much resistance as Winter Cecilia. So in my opinion, like Jaffar is a really good free-to-play unit that we have got. And you can also use him as a score bot in Arena because of his 174 BST. So that's really useful actually. And I know a lot of people are going to be investing their grails into him. Overall, just a very solid unit. I'm a big fan of this. I'm so thankful that they didn't mess up Jaffar once again. because Jaffar has a history of getting messed up. First of all, he got released on his 6-unit banner, and he didn't have much attack. His weapon refine kind of got outdated in that same update because they also gave weapon refines to these staff units. But I'm really happy, like Winter Jaffar is pretty good. The only thing which is not good about him is probably his base kit. It could have been better. So he has got defense res bond at 5-star and go with armor at 4-star. Like, come on, couldn't you have given defense res bond at 4-star? And his assist skill is also not really all that good. Main TKN can be useful on Winter Cecilia, I guess, if you already have her built up. But still, like, Barb Shuriken with Special Fighter and Soul is gonna be a bit better for Winter Cecilia. So yeah, that's Jaffar. Extremely happy about him. If he was colorless, then it would have been absolutely insane. But as I said, green isn't really the worst color. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know about your thoughts in the comment section down below about these units. And let me know if you're gonna be summoning on this banner or not. And if you enjoyed this video, then please be sure to leave a like. It is gonna be much appreciated. And if you haven't already, then make sure to subscribe for more Fire Emblem Heroes content and also Three Houses content. And please be sure to hit the notification bell and click on all so that you can always get the updates to my videos whenever I upload. Because I wish YouTube sub boxes were about as fast as these new armor units, but unfortunately they're about as fast as Zephiel. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.